How many of you traders out there that actually trade futures or other markets such as maybe Forex or options are heavily placing loads of interest on using indicators? Okay. I stopped using them many years back. I used to be the one starting off my first year or two to trading, thinking that I needed, cluttering my charts with so many indicators that they were going to be aid me in my trading. Okay. Be the determination, or should be the determination of when and where I take my trades from. And that's not the case. I found that out roughly almost 2 years into my trading. And it was partially one of the reasons why I wasn't successful. It wasn't just the main reason why, because I talked about market structure and me clearly not understanding or nor being able to read the charts like I thought I did or knew. But indicators also blurred my vision or blurred my mind. Having so much going on your charts, it makes things more complex. And what I found was that by being and finding the means of being simplistic, okay, meaning not making your chart so cluttered to where you can't visually see what's going on. If you start, because what happens is when you start waiting on too many things to take place, and then by the time you get into the trade, what ends up happening is you are already late on the move. That's what caused my trading to fail, and I did not reach a level of success at the beginning because I was taking moves or taking trades halfway through a move, and in some instances at the top of a move. So it took me time to figure out, because I wasn't able to catch the moves right at the beginning, and that's why I love trading supply and demand, because now I'm able to see where moves, especially aggressive areas, and buy in, because it makes sense to me. If you see big areas and big pushes in the market, why not trade them, all right, with the market? Say, for example, I got my charts loading right now, but there was an area, and they're kind of sticking or freezing right here in the zone, right in this area here. This is a demand zone off of a higher time frame chart. Just using that as an example. Loads of aggressive selling to the upside. So when I started really studying market, supply and demand, and gained a grasp or understanding of what it really was and how to trade it correctly, that's when I was able to start taking step by steps or baby steps into piecing things together. Because in trading, it's just not all about just one thing. You have to learn one element, learn this element, and they all have to kind of piece themselves together in order for everything to work out as a whole. All right. And, I was just using a strategy at the beginning, and I found myself chasing the market. All right. Because I didn't really have a strategic way of going about trading. And it wasn't later into about my second year to trading to where I really understood and started to focus on market structure. That's when things started piecing together. I said, okay, once I was able to see and understand how the market was moving and be able to read which direction to trade, then that's when I figured out, okay, now I can, come into play with a strategy and then put together a series or steps of events that need to take place or I need to see, okay, to trade. Now, I know there's a variety of different strategies out there that people can trade, but you must understand how to trade them correctly. And everybody can kind of put their own twist on things and, how to trade whatever strategy you're trading. I trade supply and demand. Some people trade support and resistance. Some people trade break of trend lines and Fibonacci and whatever else, any other ways that people have. I know there's so many different patterns that people trade. So pick something and stick with it is what I'm trying to say. I see so many people out there jumping ship from one thing to the next, and then they want to point fingers because something doesn't work. And ultimately, in the end, it's the person that's actually not seeing things through, okay? Now, you may not be able to see exactly the way someone else sees. Like, say, for example, the way I trade is successful for me. Now, the way the next person comes along and sees the way that I trade, it may not work for them because maybe they're not able to see visually or through the same lens and have the same perspective or outlook of how I'm seeing things, okay? And it takes time to get there. Some people will see it exactly the same way you do, while others may not. And those that don't want to point fingers and say, oh, that doesn't work, I'm going to try something else. That's fine if you choose to, but in the end of things, all you're doing is confusing yourself more from jumping from here to here to here, okay? And you really can't gain control of your own perspective. You can't really see the true way of and seeing things through and waiting them through and giving them time to see if they're going to work for you and asking questions. If you don't quite understand something, just kind of fine tuning. That's what it's all about. Fine tuning what it is that you don't see or you don't know, so that so that you can understand, versus just giving up and jumping to the next thing. Because if you're starting to learn something and then you give up, guess what happens? You've added on another layer of complexity. You give up there. The second thing. Go to the third thing. You've added on another layer of complexity. And all you've done in the end was cost yourself a mountain of frustration in the end to where you're going to give up. Okay? All right? And I know about that mountain because it's a lot of weight on your back, because you want to push forward and understand and do something, because you see people making money and succeed in trading and they're able to live certain lifestyles. It's true. You can. But you got to put the work in. And when I say work, it doesn't happen in a day, a week, a month, a year. You've got to put in this time on these charts if you want to become successful. As a trader, we never stop educating. We never stop learning. Why? Because the markets are always evolving and we have to adapt as traders, okay? But I found a way that works for me, and that's trading supply and demand. I've been sharing that across this platform. If you're someone new with the strategy and how I trade it every single day, and we have successful people that are part of our community. When I say that, I mean part of a Discord that trades similar to and found success through means of passing those prop firms. I don't trade prop firms. I've been trading my own money since day one, and have nothing against them because I don't know much about them. But I see other people who are finding their own way, and that's what it's about. If you can pass a prop firm and you're making money, you're taking withdrawals, or you're trading with your own money, whatever works for you at the end, and you have a strategy or you use something that someone else is using, stick with it. Don't deviate. Don't change it, okay? It's only when you start adding additional layers or changing something up is when you're going to find yourself getting more confused or forgetting what you learned already and having to go back to the drawing board again. Trust me. Supply and demand is very simple. You just have to have a strategy and how to trade it. And I'm not pushing anyone to trade specifically to the way that I actually trade. I always tell people, you know what I say, whatever works for you, stick with it. If it's consistent, that's the goal, and that's the key to trading, is finding consistency in what it is. As long as you're making money, stick with it. Just grow from there. If you're trading one contract and it's working for you, in time, build your account, trade 2, trade 3, because then you've proven to yourself, and that's the thing, proven to yourself you can be consistent and being profitable, and then the rest is gravy on top, okay? So, but we're talking about indicators because I was using and adding so many different indicators to my chart. I tried the MACD, ATR, RSI, tons of different SMAs and EMAs, just a variety of different things out there that I thought I needed, okay? I thought that I needed to, use them and place more emphasis on the indicators than what was actually going on in the market, just simply reading price action, being able to understand and see what's going on surrounding market structure, okay? Because market structure and price action are key. You don't need any indicators, and I'm telling you that. A lot of people that are watching this video think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, you don't need any indicators to trade the right way, okay? All right, if anybody tells you any differently, then you can believe them if you want to, but I'm just telling you, if you put the time in, and I say time, I mean serious time in, and really are able to read the market, you will see that you don't need indicators to trade, okay? The only thing I use, which is very important and is a critical component to trading, is volume. And that's why I had the volume profile on my right-hand side of my chart. People are always asking, what is that to the right-hand side? Volume profile, that's all it is. Because I like to see historically where areas of volume are or were, because the market likes to use those as stopping grounds or or like a place to come back home to. Because the market likes to move from areas of high volume through an area of low volume to an area of high volume below, and then vice versa, going back up. They're just safe places. Oh, I've been here before, I want to go back there again. So I have a certain way, and when I trade it, if I'm looking to go long, I like to take my trades from the outer edge, but I don't just trade using the volume profile. I use market structure to determine how I trade or which direction I should trade. Then I have my strategy surrounding supply and demand. The volume profile is just the icing on top, because I use it as a means of a GPS. And when I'm looking for a trade to go long, then I say I want to trade at this particular zone if I get the confirmation of rejection below a high volume area to go long. And then vice versa, I'm going short from the top end of a high volume area. You see the VWAP here. I don't trade using it. I just use it. It's on my chart for aesthetics. That's all it is, okay? So I'm just using it just for for long-term use. If you are into a trade, say for example, and you see the market is moving to the upside, breaking structure to the upside continuously, all we should be doing as traders is doing what? Looking for long positions to go long. And Like if you see right here, as long as the market is above the VWAP, say for example, or certain SMA or EMA, whatever you want to use, then it just aids out. Okay, this gives us a guide. You can use indicators as a guide. Okay, all right. That's why they call them like tertiary tools, meaning they shouldn't be your first, your secondary examples, or not. I say examples. Primary ways of things that you should be looking for to trade with. You just use them as extra tools along. See, that's the problem I faced when I first started, was I was using them and placing emphasis on them as the primary source, looking for X, Y, and Z to cross, or if the market, and a certain indicator, say the MACD or the RSI, showed, where it pushed back above a certain area, back above, a certain line or a certain percentage amount, or it was just showing momentum to the upside, things of that nature, whatever the MACD or RSI or ATR was showing, I was jumping into trades based on what the indicator was saying. Okay. But I don't do that no longer. I don't need them. That's why I don't have them loaded to the bottom of my chart. And if you use them, nothing against that, because like I said, you can use them as a means of guidance. Okay, once you're into a trade. But the biggest thing is understanding what is the market trying to do overall, and trading in accordance or in direction of what the overall structure of the market is showing you, and looking at price action. Okay, because those two things are, and it's the only two things you really need to really be successful in this business. That coupled with understanding a specific strategy is all I'm saying. Okay, so ultimately, I stopped using them because they cluttered my chart. And I had to get myself back to a place to where I had to declutter from things. I had to make things more simplistic. I had to make my charts look more cleaner to the eye. And it wasn't until that, and when I did that, is when I was able to visually start to see things clearer, to where they made more sense. And my eyes wasn't focused on so many different things going on. Okay? It's like, if you got too much loaded to the chart, how can you focus on what you really need to focus on? Focus on one thing at a time. And that's where I saw as part of my problem, and I had to fix that issue. Okay. And I'm not saying that what works for me and how I went about correcting my issues will work for the next person. Okay. But I'm just telling you, trading it's already complex enough. Okay. Because we're fighting against a force that is out to get us. The banks, institutions, they're out to make sure they don't want to see us win. They want to make sure we lose in this business. But we have to think and move like them in order to make money in this business. We want to trade like them. We've got to see where they're making their moves at and trade according to. That's what you need to see. Versus looking at, well, what's going on with the MACD? Oh, it's doing this. Let me get in. Or what's going on with the ATR, RSI, whatever indicator you're using, and then jumping into the market. You don't want to do that. You want to see what's going on, what's going on, just truly by looking at the charts and the candles to understand what are they doing? What are they doing? The institutions and banks. And then I want to move with them. That's the key to all this in the end. So that's when we're using indicators. I had to get rid of those things. Okay. All right. And I'm not telling you to do so. I'm just telling you from my perspective, indicators lag. You probably heard this before. If you go on and probably do your own homework, you're gonna come across many traders that say indicators lag. That's why I don't use them, and you don't need them. All right. Now I know people trade using various ways. Maybe they use the footprint, a ladder to help them, or they see orders coming in on the bid and ask side and all that stuff. But a lot of times you got to understand a lot of spoofing goes on, even in when it comes to looking at the footprints and ladders. If you ever heard anything about iceberg orders and all the complexity of different orders that can hit the market, okay? You got to understand, because lots of times, even looking at a footprint or a ladder, yeah, they can help. Okay, again, you can use them as a means of a tool to use. Orders are hitting against the bid. I should be looking for long if the market gets back to this particular area, or the ask hitting against the ask. And you see orders hitting heavy on one side versus the other side, or orders being removed. You got to be able to see all that different movement and things that are going into play there. Okay, and a lot of times, like I said, there's a lot of spoofing that goes on the back end, that orders may be hitting the bid and then they're pulled away, and then more heavy orders come on the ask side, and the market drives down lower when you're looking for the market to go to the upside. It's just so many intricate movement, or so many details that you need to pay close attention to. I just find it simple to be able to look at the charts and understand from a just a visual perspective of what's going on. I mean, you could do that with your own eyes if you know how to trade correctly and know what's going on in the charts, okay? But I mean, I know there's always going to be people that are always going to have something to say because they may found something that works for them, and they want to, you know, kind of maybe bash what other people are saying. So trade what works for you is all I'm saying in the end. I know it works for me, and that's why I stick with it. I share how I trade, not to force anyone to trade is what I'm trying to say. But it's just, you have to make your own choice in life, just like everything else we do in life, making choices, okay? And stick by them, or find a way to kind of, say, reinvent the wheel for yourself, for something that works. But indicators they didn't work for me. The only thing I trust in using is the volume profile. And again, like I said, I use it like a means of a GPS, and that's how I trade. All right. So I just want to share that with you today. You know, I'm not going into detail on breaking down trades and showing you the strategy. I do that almost every single time I make a video, and going in and talking about my trade setups, and going in and talking about the strategy, why I took a trade, you know, at a certain particular location. Because I want people to understand the way that, you know, personally how I trade. Again, not forcing anybody's hand, but we have people that are part of our community, part of the Discord, that trade similar to the way I do, and they found success doing so. And maybe they tweaked it a little bit, you know, and found a better means or a way that they can see it better, or what works better for them, and they found consistency. At the end, that's the goal. Find consistency to be able to trade the right way and stick with that so you can make money. But if you're interested in joining the Discord, please find the link down in the description portion of the video. Okay, and also, and if you're not a current subscriber already, you know, go ahead and join. I mean, there's loads of valuable content, you know, just free information that I've been covering on this channel for months now. Yeah, there's a lot of videos there, but trust me, I mean, you can ask some of the community members, and they'll tell you that the video content is helped them out tremendously, and it's there. You know, it's free. You just got to be able to spend the time, get a pen and pad and a notebook, and write things down. I give it away because I want people to be successful. I want to see them become successful. Again, I'm not pushing anyone to trade the way that I do. I'm just sharing what I know and how I trade. So maybe that it helps other people. It inspires them that they can find consistency, that they can change their life, that they can make some money by doing this, whether part-time or full-time. But become a sub, you know, and then just find your way through the channel and watch the videos. We also have the elite channel membership if you're interested in joining. All that is you just get a additional layer of value content. All right, it's made private to those that really truly want to become loyal members of the community and support my efforts as a content creator, because that's what you're doing by joining the tier, the elite channel or elite channel supporter tier. You can click on the link below the Discord link in the description. You'll see it where it says become an elite member, and you receive the trade breakdowns. You receive perks and rewards back. You receive the trade breakdowns, the video playlist. So if you're interested in doing so, you can click on that link. You'll see 2 tiers pop up. Just make sure you choose the one that says elite channel supporter, because people are always asking me, how can I become an elite member? All right. Again, you're supporting my efforts as a content creator, and I appreciate each and every person that's signed up to become an elite channel supporter and support my efforts as a content creator by providing you information that I feel traders should know, and providing you the means of how I trade, and just giving my thoughts from my perspective about the markets. But also, if you're not a current subscriber, please, like I said, please take the time to go ahead and click on the sub button. Make sure to turn on all your post notifications so you never miss one of the uploads. And last but not least, if you found value in today's content, please drop a like on the video. I'll see everyone in the next video. Take care.